Pasyatha Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatha Deshatarine. Do you all repeat or you don't repeat on your own? What is it like? I see everyone is locked off with their audios and videos.
Yes, Prabhu. So we basically said to avoid echo, Prabhu, sometime, because if everyone turn on their audio, then it start getting echo.
Okay, so I just continue with it and then you people do it on your own, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm hoping that you will all do, otherwise it's a just futile attempt of waste. All right.
Yes, Prabhu.
All right. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mantra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, we have 19 participants here at this moment. Okay, so the good thing is I don't see who you are all except for Saranan Prabhu, and so that becomes more difficult because I can't see what you people are doing. What if I'm talking and you people are eating something, or what you people are doing something else? How will I know? So can we disable the audios and enable the videos?
Yes, Prabhu.
That'll be good for everyone, right? So I want to see who are all doing really devotional service. Otherwise, what's the point in me giving a story here? Right? Okay. Thank you all for coming here on a Sunday love feast, on a Sunday very important prime time, Pepsi Ungal choice time. If you have a chance to be there and you're going to learn a lot of things, which is not very happy to hear kind of words, because you are all going to hear. You're not going to speak because I'm going to speak and you're going to hear. So that's very different, right? So what we are trying to do now is to understand how much we can learn and understand and take it up. Okay, I was given a wonderful chance like this. So I'm so happy and indebted to all the devotees out there in London, in Bangalore. who have expressed that I need to give something, some of information which I am not very qualified in one sense, but still I am happy to speak a few words because that's going to help me also purify. So I was asked to speak on the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, text number 18. So what I'm going to put is, I'm going to put the link for all of you if you want to access it across on the Zoom chat. Otherwise, I expect the host to publish it and share that data with them. Right. So we will start with the small prayers, and then from there we will hear what Prabhupada has to say for us to touch upon 6th chapter, 18th verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahet Nashtapraya Shabad Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Svabdantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamulam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sudevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha Ye Krishna Grana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhascha Kripa Sindebhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadivasya Tadeshatarine Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangaitagire Kripatham Mande Shri Gurun Nintaranam Paramanandamadavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay, so today's verse is 6th chapter of 18th shloka. Yada viniyatam chittam atmani evavatishtate nisprihaha sarva kamebhyo yukta iti uchate tada. So the translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, translation. When the yogi by practice of yoga disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. Purport. So can we have the mics off? Please, thank you. Okay, the activities of yogi are distinguished from those of an ordinary person by his characteristic cessation from all kinds of material desire, of which sex is the chief. A perfect yogi is so disciplined in the activities of the mind that he no longer be disturbed by any kinds of material desire. This perfectional stage can automatically be attained by persons in Krishna consciousness, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 4th chapter, 18th to 20th verse. I'm skipping the verse. King Amrisha, first of all, engaged his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. Then, one after another, he engaged his words in describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord, his hands in mopping the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the activities of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the transcendental form of the Lord, his body in touching the bodies of the devotees, his sense of smell is smelling the scents of the lotus flowers offered to the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaf offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, his legs in going to place of pilgrimage and temples of the Lord, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desire in executing the mission of the Lord. All these transcendental activities are quite befitting a pure devotee. This transcendental stage may be inexpressible subjectively by the followers of the impersonal path, but it becomes very easy and practical for a person in Krishna consciousness, as is apparent in the above description of the engagement of Maharaj Amrisha. Unless the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord by constant remembrance, such transcendental engagements are not practical. In the devotional service of the Lord, therefore, these prescribed activities are called archana, or engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. The senses and the mind requires engagement. Simple abnegation is not practical. Therefore, for people in general, especially those who are not in the renounced order of life, transcendental engagement of the senses and the mind are described above as the perfect process of transcendental achievement, which is called yukta in Bhagavad Gita. Text number 19. As a lamp is in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist, whose mind is controlled, remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendental self. Purport: a truly Krishna conscious person, always absorbed in transcendence, in constant undisturbed meditation on his worshipable Lord, is as steady as a lamp in a windless place. Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay, so today is a very interesting and very powerful statement and a shloka. So before I start to speak something, I just wanted to get a sort of a glimpse. How many of you have read Bhagavad Gita end to end? So who will know the answer? I have 31 people here, so only one person is lifting his hand. What about the rest? How many of you have read Bhagavad Gita end to end? Okay, so this is very tough because I don't know what is it showing. Dr. Dinesh here, I can't say anything. Okay, I see Gaurav Srivatsa saying yes, he knows. Okay, so the reason why I'm asking you this very important question is that if you have not read Bhagavad Gita, you would probably not understand what I'm going to talk today. The reason why I'm not going to explain it to you in detail is because this subject matter is extremely important. Anyone in this world is going to go through a difficult period of time. No person in this world is very confidently can say that I don't have any problems. The simple reason is that it is not possible to come to this world without any problems. So now Prabhupada is trying to explain a very important subject matter, that he is touching upon how a perfect yogi is so well disciplined in the activities. First of all, how to control his mind, which does not allow him to get disturbed by any kind of material activities or desires. 99.99% of all of us, we are disturbed all the time. Is there anyone here in this group of 30 people that they are not disturbed by mind? No one can say, no, I am not disturbed, I am very strong. Prabhupada was asked this question by a reporter. And then Prabhupada also was having a lot of disciples. So Prabhupada was asked this question in USA, that Prabhupada, have you seen God? So Prabhupada says, I have seen God and I always have God with me. So then next statement of Prabhupada was asked this, are you completely controlled of your mind? Someone really, they were newcomers into the Krishna conscious movement, so they asked this kind of question. Very tough kind of question. Were expecting Prabhupada to answer. Prabhupada said, yes, I am completely controlled. I am self-satisfied. I am completely controlled. But you people are not. So that's the difference between you and me. And he proved a point. Here is a personality, Srila Prabhupada, who very openly spoke about the taboo of the society. we were just discussing about a many improbable information which is explained in this verse of 18 and 19, right? Any person here in this world are going to be disturbed because of the activities of the mind. How do we overcome this? Who can beat this at this point of time, in these kind of situations, in this current world? Can MS Dhoni overcome this? Can Sachin Tendulkar overcome this mind? Can anyone else, or can anyone else for that matter, over whom you think as a sort of models, or someone who has been in the limelight for so long, has overcome their minds? Answer is no. None of these guys. Not even a devotee can overcome a mind, the activities of the mind. If you have to make it very disciplined, you have to have only one way. You need to understand that the importance of activities which we perform, because you are all investing, we are all investing our time in understanding Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, why will you waste a Sunday evening prime time period? You could have probably watched a serial or a movie, or you could have probably, you can't go outside now because of the lockdown situation. I'm not sure how the lockdown situation is there, but still, you could have done many other things, but you have attempted to invest your private time, your personal time, in trying to understand that someone is trying to talk about some subject matter. Let me listen and hear and understand and learn from it. So in this period of time, no one at this point of time whom we consider a great personalities, or someone who is very extraordinary, who can talk about any subject matter, or who knows about anything else, he is very great, he is a very good model for me, he is an inspiration to me. No one in this world who can say that I have controlled my mind, because Arjuna himself is saying, I can control the wind, but I can't control the mind. So who can control? A devotee can control? No, even a devotee cannot control. Why? Because just being a devotee is not enough. You need to be a refined practitioner of Krishna consciousness. Means, suppose, let's say we are chanting 4 rounds, Prabhupada expects us to chant 16 rounds. So when we do 16 rounds, then you come to the next level. Then you have got many other things to do. You have to overcome those obstacles. In order to do that on a constant daily practice, because we are all the time bombarded by 3 things: Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika. Impacts caused by others, impact caused by our own mind, impact caused by the different living entities. They are there who are all the time trying to see how we can get purified. Today we have a time where we never expected a pandemic like Corona to come in our lifetime, but we have come here and we are hearing that so many issues happening, so many difficulties happening, so many things which are happening which we don't want it to happen. But now Krishna also has given us a wonderful opportunity and timelines. He has given such a wonderful opportunity for all of us that today we are able to sit together because of this internet option, that we are able to sit together and we are able to hear something about Krishna Katha. So Prabhupada explains very clearly that he is the first Acharya who explains all these things. And he explains and he expects that we as devotees should not be just be a devotee. Just being a devotee is only a level, but there are many levels. You need to learn the art of becoming a fine practitioner of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna likes those ones, right? For us, there are 2 important meditation which we need to do. At this point of time, in this particular verse, there are many things which we can do or achieve. If we are devotee, we can achieve perfection, not by just practice. We cannot just overcome things by practice. You can say that, Prabhu, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm chanting my 16 rounds, I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, I'm taking prasadam. Yes, those are essentials. Those are basics. 16 round chanting is not something you have achieved a Mount Everest. Those are essentials. But then how do we get to the next level? by the costless mercy of a spiritual master who has perfected his life by following a perfected personality. Just like how Srila Prabhupada is a perfect personality. So, and yogi can show so many, if you go to, Prabhupada explains that in a very different places, in many places, about Kumbh Mela, where you can see yogis jumping from one part of the river to another part of the river. He flies on air, he flies on the water, he walks on water, he can walk on fire, he can be inside the fire without getting disturbed. So these are like controlling the senses to an extent and mind to an extent. But that's not sufficient. Unless one is driven by intelligence, buddhi yoga, right? One cannot achieve the spiritual success. That's the pinnacle of spiritual success, which is what is called Krishna consciousness, love of God, Krishna prema. All the time remembering about Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, and always think about how we can serve Krishna. Now at this point of time, our activities are, even though we are doing some devotional activities, our activities are actually not as conducive as to be for what Krishna wants. At this point of time, what we are doing is what we want, and then we are adapting to what Krishna wants. That means to say, we are making Krishna tell, okay, whatever you are doing is correct. So, Prabhupada explains that we are thinking with the different aspects of what we are being put on, as if we have got the power of everything. Prabhupada explains that in Bhagavad Gita, very beautiful shloka, right? Krishna says, I am the ability in man, but we are thinking we have the ability to perform everything. But Krishna says, I am the ability. So what does he say? We are thinking that we are doing devotional service. We are doing whatever we are able to do. We are thinking we are doing that devotional service. Of course we are doing, but that doesn't mean that we are doing the devotional service. Why? Because there are many things which we need to really understand. When we do someone a favor by, say, we are taking a Bhagavad Gita or a Bhagavatam, and some devotee approaches and gives a Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, you take a Bhagavatam, or, oh, I am doing a favor to these people because they are like, they don't have any other choice which they wanted to do, so they are giving some books. No, Krishna doesn't see all that. Or you are doing something called devotional service by going and doing something or the other without any constant thought process. Krishna doesn't see all this. What does Krishna sees? He sees what is there in your heart. If you have any hidden agendas, if you have any intuition to cheat someone or a cheating propensity, right? Sometimes what happens is the best test is one when no one watches and we follow. That's the best test. Like sometimes you go to you see that, oh, there is a devotee coming, I will go this side. And why? Because that I saw him on the other day, he was in the movie theater or he was doing something else. So, but that's not a very important thing. What we need to know is, how can I please Krishna? What does Krishna really like? How can that be the statement Krishna says, a person who is refined in his practicing Krishna consciousness becomes a perfect yogi? How can I achieve that? Those are the goal settings. Because otherwise we are actually filling the timesheets every day. When the sun rises and when the sun comes down, we are just filling the timesheet, eating, mating, sleeping, defending. This is what we are doing, right? But there are no other options for us. Natoro paratoro upaya sarva vedeshu drushati. There is no other option, no other availability of success in the entire Vedas. Nato parataro upaya. There is no other solution for this. So what is the solution? Except that we become a simply surrendered servant to the holy names. When you chant constantly, you actually learn a lot. Why do you learn a lot? Why? Because you are doing the Shravanam. Automatically you hear. Then the Kirtanam becomes stronger. These two of the 9 processes of bhakti are extremely, extremely powerful. Shravanam and Kirtanam. They're very powerful. Why all the time there is an emphasis on hearing? The first element of success is a person who starts hearing, not the person who starts speaking. Prabhupada says only an idiot we can come to know when he opens his mouth. So when we start opening our mouth, we can know that the person is an idiot if he starts talking blabbering. So in the same way, there is very informations which are available to us. In this wonderful verse, it said there is no other way except that you become a servant of the Supreme Lord's holy name. And then what happens? We can actually reach and relish all those wonderful activities which are being done by King Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj is showing us simply by an example how beautifully he is controlling his senses and minds. Simply surrendering or simply thinking that I am a very renunciant is not natural. It's not practical. It's highly impractical. Why? Because we cannot do that. How do we do that then? There must be a method by completely utilizing all our daily activities with all the thoughts, whether it's good, bad, and ugly. If you use it in Krishna's service, if you think of using in Krishna's service in some way or the other, because thoughts are there, it has to come from the thoughts, it has to move out of the thoughts to get implemented. So then, by the power of the holy name, by the power of the association, by the power of services, by the power of books, which are the knowledge, that loving desire will start improving, increasing itself slowly, steadily from the core of our heart. That is what we need to crave for. How many of you think here, we have here, that all of us are here? How many of you think that it is possible to achieve? How many of you think that this can be achieved in this lifetime? Or how many of you feel that the mind should be controlled or kept in a place in such a manner that should be windless place so that it doesn't start wavering? How many of you feel that you need to connect with Krishna in order to achieve all these things? It is very important for us to know this. This is extremely important. Unless until if we don't accept these words of the Shastras, these words of the Acharyas, the spiritual master who is investing his wonderful time onto us through the books, right? That is Vani Seva. That is Vapu Seva, that is Vani Seva. This is instructions given by Srila Prabhupada. He has invested extremely his entire blood and flesh and his sweat. He has invested in Bhagavad Gita. If you have a poll, you should take a poll to find out how many of you here in this place have read Bhagavad Gita end to end. If you have not done that, you should start doing that now. Today is the day. You need to start reading Bhagavad Gita, at least one shloka a day. Then you will be so happy that you can proudly tell the world that I have touched upon the Supreme Lord's message, the song of God. I have been able to hear that. From the core of my heart, I have been able to hear that. And Prabhupada has given this wonderful opportunity. If we continue to do this in a constant manner, but very importantly, we need to follow this, what Prabhupada said is ABCD: association, books, Vedas, association, books, chanting, and taking prasad. Without any compromise to this four, we will achieve the perfection of a yogi, which is actually very important. Because the yogis are trying very hard. Phenomenal energy they are putting. Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma explains this. Pantastu koti satavatsara sambragamyor vayu ratapi manaso muni pungavana. What for they are meditating, these yogis? Just to get a glimpse of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. For which Pantastu koti satavatsara sambragamyor. They are sitting in meditation for millions and zillions of lifetimes. Let me get the glimpse of the lotus feet. Here, Prabhupada has given us a wonderful opportunity that you can be with Krishna, you can act with Krishna, you can love with Krishna. You can connect with Krishna. You can be with the wonderful devotees of Krishna. And then that is what you are actually inspired to lead your life with. We can achieve a lot of things in our path back to garden, but we need to be very conscious about a few things which is actually coming as weeds in our heart. They are actually covering the wonderful natural plant. So now we are in that kind of a situation that we are not sure whether the original plant is a plant or that itself is a weed. Because we are pouring water every day. By chanting Hare Krishna, we are reading, by chanting Hare Krishna, by reading Prabhupada books, we are actually pouring water. The food for the stomach is the one which we actually cook in the kitchen. But food for the soul is the one what actually we are chanting. The reading of Prabhupada books, that's the food for the soul. Now we can achieve many things, right? But there are many things which are coming in. Maybe it's ego, maybe it's enviousness, maybe it's pride, maybe it's lust, it's greedy, all these things. But Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that the power of devotion, the fire of devotion is so strong when it starts burning brighter, right? Our lifespan, lives becomes very, very positive. It is actually taking a wonderful turn towards brighter aspect of a refined yogi. We then become a refined bhakti yoga practitioner. Aindra Prabhu, I don't know, many of you might know or you may not know. Aindra Prabhu is one of the topmost kirtaniyas. He is Prabhupada's direct disciple and Prabhupada's disciple in
My
Vrindavan.
son, my husband are trying that bike, automated electric bike. So I thought, let me walk here. But
Hare Krishna. I would request devotees to go on mute, please.
Can you not mute it?
Yeah, I can mute all, but I'm not sure if that will mute you also. So that's the
No,
reason.
that must be an option to not mute me. You can mute the others.
Okay, I'll try.
Try it out. I'll wait for you. Have you muted?
Yeah, even you are.
I think all are muted, Prabhu. Vishal Gauranga Prabhu, you can just unmute yourself.
But I am unmuted. It says unmuted.
No. Mute all is muting you as well, Prabhu. So
Okay.
I just press mute all.
Okay, let's continue with it. That's fine, because I'm not against the thoughts, because many of them will have their own agendas, but they are just still connected on this particular Zoom call. I'm not really sure, but I'm entitled as a part of my duty. I need to speak. I was given this option. I don't see Ranchor Prabhu here. I don't see anyone else who are a part of this. So I'm just wondering. So that's why I have few more minutes to speak. After that, it's all yours. So let me come back to this. Aindra Prabhu was Srila Prabhupada's direct disciple, and he was the one who actually reconnected the 24 hours Kirtan in Vrindavan. So when we went and we asked him this question that, Prabhu, can you come to Bangalore? There are a lot of wonderful devotees who wants to get your mercy and the holy name. We know that if you come here, everyone will get benefited and then they'll all be very happy. Our temples will be very purified by your presence and the entire city will get purified. But for which he said, yes, if I come, I'm not sure whether I'll be able to purify everyone. But if you come to Vrindavan, not only you, your family, everyone gets benefited, everyone gets purified, and they also take back Krishna with them in their heart. And that is what will enable you and inspire you to spread the message of the Lord, which is what the goal of life for a devotee is. Right? How an elephant, every part of an elephant is so precious, right? Whether it's living elephant or a dead elephant, every part is precious. That will be actually sold out for something else. In the same way, a devotee's life or a goal of life for a devotee is, how can I pass on the message of Godhead? How can I pass on the message of what Krishna wants us to do? That message can be achieved only by being a devotee following the 4 regulative principles and being in the association of devotees, chanting their rounds, reading Prabhupada books, and taking Krishna Prasadam, which is extremely, extremely mandatory. Always doing it, we normally become, without any difficulty, we will not even know. There are so many videos in the YouTube which talks about many people. They are posing as imposters, but we are spending and time like anything just to know about what they are talking. There are so many people in Bangalore. There are thousands and thousands of so-called practitioners, so-called yogis, so-called babas, whatever you call. You go to east, west, north, south of Bangalore, every single place there are some kind of a yogi, thinks or proclaims himself as God or next to God, and he projects himself as all knower of everything. That is not going to help us. What will help us is how we follow the tenets of what Srila Prabhupada has told us. If we practice that on a constant fashion, including staying in your own house and taking the ownership and responsibility, right? Then the most difficult aspect of our lifetimes gets immediately relinquished. So that will be the power of what we can achieve by just chanting the holy name of the Lord. So I humbly request all of you, includes me also, that we attempt and practice to hear Krishna's message all the time. So first step towards it is that we need to start reading Bhagavad Gita. Scrutinizingly we should study every single day without fail. We all have this 24 hours. We all are spending more and more time now because of lockdown in our houses. But how many of us here are putting that extra effort to sit and hear about Krishna in one form or the other, whether it's through audio books or through video books or through Prabhupada's lectures or through Prabhupada's memories, Prabhupada's memoirs, and other devotees giving a class or a session or some subject matter being discussed. If we don't do that, how do you expect you to progress yourself in this path of success, in the path of perfection? Today we are 20, tomorrow we will be 40, day after tomorrow we will be 60. So we don't have much time. The time scale is defined. If we don't take that as an activity right now, we cannot consider ourselves as a successful person who did that in the end of the day. End of the day, Krishna is going to not bother about what we have achieved, or what is Krishna not going to bother about where you lived. Whether you have lived in Australia, America, or England, or wherever, or in Bangalore, it doesn't matter. We have to relinquish every single thing in this world. Absolutely, there is nothing else in this world available. If we need to learn this art of getting the frustration out of this world, if you read the newspaper, if you see the internet news, right? We are actually going and touching upon all the subject matter which are only going to get us more frustrated. But that's when your spiritual life practice starts. Frustration of this material world is the start of our spiritual life. Why? Because no good news will come out of any of these internet newses. You cannot expect, because this is the wrong world we are in. We are the abnormal set of people. They are not. They are normal. We are abnormal. We are in a wrong place. That is why Krishna says, Mamaya Vamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. This Jiva, we have to be connected to the Supreme Abode eternally. Now we are actually knowing a little bit glimpse of all that. And yogi can perfect. He can do all these things. But what's the point? He will end up probably in the heavenly kingdom. That's all. There is more problems there than here. In the heavens, it's not that, what a nectar is flowing through the trees and everything is nectarian. No, it's not. It's not nectar. That is full of poison. Prabhupada explains that in the Bhagavad Gita end. He says, what you think is a start of pain is a nectar at the last. What you think is a blossoming beauty now is a pain later. So we need to understand how we can overcome Our calling stop next should be Golaka Vrindavan or Navadvip Dham. We should not call anywhere else. No Satyaloka, no Janaloka, Tapaloka, Marloka, Swargaloka, none of these places. Our next calling stop should be Goloka. That's the only thing. Nor we should even contemplate on Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Tala, Tala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala. We should not think. But Prabhupada has blessed us. He said that Krishna has given this permission. Anyone who chants Hare Krishna at least one time sincerely, they will get a human body in the next life without difficulty. But that's not the goal of life. That's just a back of life. That's a backup. But what is goal of life? How do we connect with Krishna? How do we know that spiritual realm? What are the activities which are happening, which are dynamic? It is Chintamani Dham. It is dynamic. It's not static. Here is a place where you read a news, that news becomes obsolete tomorrow. No one is going to go and check in the newspaper, what did Trump say yesterday? They will see what is Trump going to say today, right? But whereas here is the information in the spiritual realm, every moment is so dynamic, adventurous, thrilling. You name the words of verbs, you will get everything there. That is what Krishna's life is, Krishna's world is, Krishna's globe is. Krishna's paraphernalia is, Krishna's pastimes are, Krishna's devotees are. Janma karmachame divyam. This is divinity. So now we have to attempt that very important subject. That will help us. If we are able to connect with the Supreme Lord through that, connecting with Supreme Lord is through his devotees. Aradhanami sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadyanam samarsham. Serving the devotees of the Supreme Lord Vishnu is the highest. If we connect with the Supreme Lord's devotees, then we actually have chance for us. That is what the key for success is. Right? So we have to do that on a constant manner, constant practice. I'll stop here. If you have any questions, comments, clarifications, or if you have anything to add to what I have told, if it is very inspiring for all of us to share, you're most welcome. I once again thank you all for investing your wonderful time on a Sunday morning, or rather Sunday evening for you and Sunday morning for me. And that's fantastic time. I really enjoyed speaking a few words which I could know, which I could practice and collect information about. But there is a lot of things which we have chance to learn, but we are losing time. One time when we are doing a book distribution in Rajajinagar, it was way back in 96. It was marathon time, that was December. We went, actually one of our friends, he was actually doing the distribution there. And he went and knocked the door of a house, and then he knocked and he gave a Bhagavad Gita and a Bhagavatam to a very elderly lady. She said, thank you so much. These books are divine. I'm unfortunately so bad that I can't read any of this. Those days, we did not have audiobooks. We did not have any digital formats of the books, or we didn't have the videos of the books. So this lady said, thank you so much for these books, but unfortunately I can't read. My eyesight is very poor, right? So then he said that the devotee said to him that we pray that Krishna gives you the energy to somehow or other hear or read. But very feelingly and sadly she said, I wish I would have got these books at least 30 years back. Then I would have been able to know more about Krishna, more about his place. This is a true story. This happened to us. And this happened in such a manner that it opened my eyes. Now I am finding it difficult to read Prabhupada books for whatsoever reason. I thought that it was straightforward, it's easy. I thought I will probably read it a little later. I was focusing on something else. No, that's not true. That moment of Takshanat, that moment is all important for us. We need to do that now, not later. Now Krishna has given us wonderful opportunity. The opportunities are through this. There is e-books, there is audio books, There is many other options. You don't need to see and read. Someone else reads for you. You just have to hear. So computer has come, headphones have come. All those facilities are there. If we don't use those facilities, we are kripanas, misers. Karpanya dosha bhatat swabhava, right? Arjuna has been accused that he is a miser. He is not realizing the importance of what Krishna consciousness is. He's talking about the body and all the time about body. But we are not this body. We are a spirit soul. So if we are a spirit soul, then there must be some finer qualities of the spirit soul, which we have lost off. So now that is the time to acquire it back. And this is where the chance is. Please request every single person whom you are actually meeting to read about Prabhupada books or hear about Prabhupada books. Internet, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. You just have to connect yourself. There are so many wonderful audiobook libraries are there about Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That's beautiful. Every day I would want to hear. I hear it. And it gives me so much happiness and pleasure. It is something which you can't contemplate at all. You will actually complete a Bhagavad Gita if you read one sloka a day. It's going to take you 2-3 years, right? But actually, if you start hearing to Bhagavad Gita audios, you'll probably complete it in less than a month. And you should be proud after that. That I am able to, by God's grace, I'm enabled to hear the complete song of God, to read about Bhagavatam completely, end to end. You can finish 12 cantos, 18 volumes, 18,000 slokas in just a matter of minutes. Jiffy, you can finish in 1 or 2 years. That will be fabulous. At least you do that, you are ticking the checkbox. You can proudly say to Prabhupada, by your grace, I was able to read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Leela Amrita, and many other small books, all by the video and audio libraries. I'm able to. BBT has provided those options. So this is great for us. It's a boon for us. Now we should take it up. If we take it up, nothing like that. We become enthusiastic and we make others enthusiastic. Otherwise, there is no way by become enthusiastic. Your enthusiasm is extremely key. You have to be very enthusiastic. If you are not enthusiastic, you cannot progress in your life. The path of perfection is for only people who are practicing all the time. How a marathon or 100 meters runner practices for Olympic from the day before they've even told the name and date when the next Olympics are. Like that we should practice. How much effort these people are putting, right? Prabhupada explains this. Just today I was reading one wonderful quote by Prabhupada about how women should be trained. And I was very astonished. The way in which Prabhupada said is extremely, extremely powerful. I would want to read this. Prabhupada was actually traveling and Prabhupada told that I have been traveling around the world and this is my experience. Nobody knows how to eat. Only in India. In every province, they have got different dishes. Because the women, they are trained up how to cook very nice prasadam. Women are meant for the purposes. How to make nice palatable dishes. In Bengal, there is a ceremony after marriage called Bahu Bata. The newly married girl, she shall cook and all the relatives, friends are invited and they appreciate, yes, nice cook. Then she is accepted as a member of the whole family. So Prabhupada explains, one of the devotees says, Prabhupada, what if she doesn't know or if she is not good in training and they all feel that it's a disgusting food? Then Prabhupada says, she must be trained. Prabhupada replied with a tone of indication that there is no possibility of otherwise. Just like how Radharani is completely trained up in all the 64 artistic qualities. Do you think it is easy for Krishna to be easily captivated? How much qualified she must be, that is Radharani must be, so that Krishna is only attracted to her. That's the key of success, right? How much wonderful practice and how much wonderful training is being given to her. The same way, we have to be a person who is trained well. That gives Shobham, means happiness to your spiritual master, happiness to Srila Prabhupada, happiness to the Guru Parampara. And when they recommend, they should recommend it with laurels. This boy is a very nice boy. This girl is a very nice girl. They are doing service to Krishna very nicely. So Radharani recommends us to Krishna like that. Okay then. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Is there any questions, Prabhus? Mataji's? Anyone else? Or is the information much better or not good? I'm not really sure. But I humbly request your feedback. That will be great.
It is excellent, Prabhu. So I would request other devotees to unmute and they can raise their questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you
Sure.
very much for the very nice talk. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Prabhu, Vishal Gauranga Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, that you are telling no reading part. So reading part, when we take like Bhagavatam, no, we feel it is very vast and like 1 or 2 books we may finish, and after that we'll feel the same thing is getting repeated, and we feel it is so far away, and we lose our determination. Actually, we feel okay,
Yes.
let it be.
Yeah.
So how to continue it, Prabhu, generally?
I gave you an option. Take an audiobook, much faster to complete. There is an audiobook which is available. You go to my BVL. BVL is Bhaktivedanta Vedic Libraries, and it's available in the internet. You can download that stream or you can stream it. You can hear the complete audiobook of the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or whatever, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the books are uploaded there. So you just put it. It is like a lecture. It's like the entire book which you are, instead of you reading, someone else reads for you and you hear it attentively. Then you will not feel it. But the reason why you're feeling so far is because of 2 points. One, we are not used to that sitting concept of hearing from someone. We always feel like we need to know, and we know a lot of things, right? When we know that what we know is very less, then that realization will come in your heart that I need to know more about Krishna. That's the key factor of success. When you moment become humble, submissive, and accept the supremacy of Krishna, Krishna will open the doors. There are devotees who sit every single day without fail, with all consistency, every single day without fail. I have not seen those devotees wavering out. There might be difficulties in their life. There might be so much of problems coming in towards them, being thrown on them. Every single day they sit without fail in the morning and read at least 1 shloka a day. Every single day Prabhupada's mercy is going on to that wonderful soul. How much pure that devotee should be. And we are trying to be saying that Bhagavatam is vast. Yes, it is vast. What do you expect the ocean? This is the ocean of nescience. Only a big boat like Bhagavatam can take us to the other part of the sea. The world is so huge. This ocean is so powerful. It has got timingalas, it has got sharks, it has got anything and everything you're talking about. But how do we overcome this? You need to have a boat which is much stronger. We need to have a captain who can drive it in such a manner that there is no shaking. You need to have those kind of features where even at the point of adversity, we should not be disturbed. Bhagavatam is ready to give it as Nigama Galpataru Galitam Phalam. If you realize that this is Galitam Phalam, what does Galitam Phalam mean? So sweetly nectarine. It's nectarian, touched by the lips of Sukha, by the parrot-touched fruit. How beautiful, how wonderful, how sweet it is, relishing. If you take a sugar cane and eat from this side or that side, it doesn't matter. Sugar cane is sugar cane. It is full of sweet and sugar. So in the same way, Srimad Bhagavatam is relished in that sense. Why we feel that it is so far and it's so large is because we don't have that long vision. We have lost our 40 years, 30, 40 years of our life by simply running around here and there with fickle thoughts and fickle happiness. For some people, it's 10 years, some people 20 years, some people 30 years, some people 40 years, or some people 50, 60 years. Maybe they are coming now to Krishna consciousness. This is told by Prahlad Maharaj. That is why Prahlad Maharaj is telling us, Kaumaram acharate pragnor. Start Krishna consciousness at the age of 5 or less than 5. That's where the key success is. If you are able to bend at 5, you will then bend at 50. If you can't bend at 5, then what will you bend at 50? It will be the same story. But here is a chance for us. Even if you lost these options and opportunities of not able to read Prabhupada books till now, there are many options now available. Much, much better options. It is available in your PDF format. It is available in your Kindle format. It is available in your handbooks format, and many, many formats. And now the same message is coming to us in a very sweet fashion, and we don't have to worry about it. So don't think it's not achievable. You need to invest your time. This time is very precious for you and for me, for everyone. This is the fact of life. You need to. If you don't invest, how many of you are ready here to invest? If you are able to really ready to invest in one single year, you will be able to achieve many things of completing wonderful books of Prabhupada. And you will come back and tell it to me that Prabhu, by some or the other, by your chance, we are able to complete Bhagavad Gita. But I have seen, practically I have seen many devotees, but I have seen my own brother sitting and reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita without fail every single day, whether he is in India, Australia, America, or in England. I have seen him doing that. And I am very convinced with that's possible because Lord Chaitanya has enabled that soul. Otherwise, you cannot touch them because they are apaurishayas. They are all divine books. All are in divinities. So someone has to be enabled by the empowerment of the spiritual master. And I can very convincingly say that every single one of us in this forum will be able to read these wonderful books. But the effort has to be from your side. Just like Damodar month programs, like 2-finger shot. What are the 2 fingers? One is the costless mercy of the Supreme Lord, but also our effort, our endeavor. Without that, how is it possible to connect with the Supreme? Right? When the yogis are meditating for millions and zillions of years uselessly, just to touch upon the lotus feet, how the lotus feet looks. For us, we don't see the lotus feet. We see the entire wonderful body of the Supreme Lord, includes the lotus feet. Just by hearing the holy names, just by chanting the holy names, just by hearing the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, we get relishment every day. So there is no question of not being inspired to read. This is Prabhupada giving it to you as a wonderful, sweet, sugar-coated pill. But that's the only solution. That's the only medicine. In this coronavirus, how many people are trying to get a vaccination? Some vaccine or the other, they are trying. America is trying, Australia is trying, Russia is trying, England is trying, everyone is trying, India is trying, everyone is trying, right? But is that the key? No, they are not able to gunpointedly tell that this vaccination is enough to kill the virus and that's the end of it. They are all doing a hit and run race. It's full of only golmals. They are trying to do all sorts of permutations and combinations and it will work. Just yesterday, there was a release in the press. The chief scientist of the vaccination program is saying that this virus is going to stay with us and this virus will continue to stay with us and we may have to give multiple injections of vaccinations in different phases of our life in order to not get affected by this coronavirus. See, every day, every moment, they are changing their goalposts because they themselves don't know about it. But here is a very clear shot. Your goal is Krishna consciousness. Your goal of life is to reach Krishna Prema. Your goal of life is to go to the Golaka Vrindavan. And that's all there. A very clear path is being defined. And how do we go there? That solution also is there. reading Prabhupada books, chanting a holy name, or associating devotees, taking prasadam. That's it. So then what's the difficulty? If we don't do it now, then you can't blame someone else later. If someone like you is saying that, how do we understand it like that? Then what will be the people who are feeling that kind of a difficulty later? We are the ambassadors of that message of Godhead. Whatever information we have, we need to share it with others. You might be a 5-year-old kid or a 50-year-old man, doesn't matter. That message has to be given to someone or the other who is desperately waiting. There are souls. Prabhupada said this, a very beautiful statement. Every road in any town and village has a devotee, but they are hidden. So look for those devotees who have to come out. So you do your job, Prabhupada will do his job. But if you don't do our job and say, Prabhupada, you do it and I'll sort you out later, and then go and sleep off, whose fault is that? Does it make sense? So that's what the key factor of success is. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
So,
Yes.
Prabhu, I have one question raised by one of the devotee.
Yes, please.
So he is reading Bhagavad Gita, and he saw some statement like there is statement like, as children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family.
Correct.
So
For
his
sure.
his opinion is that whether we are little biased toward man, or is there any proper explanation that I am not able to get from these words? So he's trying to understand that how like men can give protection to women. So are they both not equal? So why scriptures are saying like that?
Yeah, it's correct. What he's saying is correct. We are all equal. What are we? We are all
Soul,
not this body. We are a spirit soul. What does soul means? What soul are we? Are we Purusha soul or Prakriti soul?
Prakriti.
Yeah, only one Purusha, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna. Govindam Adi Purusham. Only Krishna is the Purusha. All of us are Prakritis. So here is a statement given in the Bhagavad Gita for us to understand that someone who has taken a body of that sort have some kind of a conditioning based on that body. Like for example, a pig is there or a dog is there. Can a dog, what's the vritti of dog? What is the work of a dog? It's to bark. But how will it bark if you have not trained him to bark? In the same way, if a child or a woman are put in that kind of a situation, they have their own conditioning. We are all conditioned souls. So because of that difficulty, we will actually tend to do a lot of mistakes or get misled. So we need a protection. So according to the Manusmriti, that is the Bible of mankind, it explains very clearly that a man should protect a woman. A woman needs protection by either the son or the husband or the brother or the father. But she has to be protected all the time so that there is no situation occurs to her that she gets into some kind of unnecessary trouble with the situation or the environment she is posed with. But nevertheless, if we consider ourselves as a spirit soul, we should understand it that it's very clearly our only protection comes from the holy names. Krishna is the only protector and there is no one else. That's why it's called divine protector. Right? There is no one else who can protect us in any point in time. So that's very important. That's clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji, 6.18, the last line says which is called Yukta in the Bhagavad Gita. So this Yukta and Yukta Vairagya is the same?
Absolutely, same. There is no difference. Yukta Vairagyam is called Yukta. Yukta means that not false renunciation. Prabhupada explains just before that is a simple abhignation is not practical. Does Prabhupada says this? Abhignation, the word abhignation means a renunciation. There's another word for that in English called renunciation. Simply renunciation is not practical. That becomes Markata Vairagya, means someone who is trying to practice, but after some time in the practice is just a show off that I am also able to do it. Like for example, Prabhupada gives the example of Markata Vairagya and also Smashana Vairagya. It's almost the same. Smashana Vairagya is that you go, you cry, oh my God, my brother is passed away, my uncle is passed away, my auntie is passed away, my mother is passed away, everyone is passed away. And then you go into that particular thing and you are sitting there and crying. Of course you will cry because you don't see them physically anymore. You will lose that bodily concept and bodily feelings. That kind of thoughts will go off. So you have to feel that kind of a low. So what would you do? Yes, you will cry. You will cry for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you feel very low and dejected. You will also get depressed. But after that, right? Papi Pedka Saval, start stomach growling. What do you do immediately? Okay, let's go out and eat some 2 idli, 1 vada in that Brahmin's cafe. Right? Because your senses are pulling you there. That's where it is. And so you go and look for it and you go and eat something. So then your thoughts of depression, thoughts of feeling of loneliness, thoughts of feeling that you don't have any more connection with that wonderful person who was with me is lost. So this is what the key factor is. That is called Yukta. Yukta Vairagya means that which you use it completely in Krishna service, whether it's good, bad and ugly. You can have good things, you can have bad things, you can have worse things, but you should use everything in Krishna service. Keep on using it. Use. The more you start using anything in Krishna service, that becomes purified. That's why I hope Prabhupada says that wonderful example of if a metal is all the time in constant touch with a fire, with a high degree of power, it fetches the qualities of and becomes as good as a gold. So in the same way, right? You need to use it. You need to use all these wonderful things, whatever you have. Like internet is available, so we are using in Krishna service. The same internet is available for you to watch a movie. Same internet is available for you to watch a cricket match. Same internet is available for you to do something else stupid. But you are choosing not to do all these things and you're sitting and investing your time in hearing about Krishna Katha. So that's purification. That is Yukta Vairagya. I have got something, but I am not using in Krishna service, then that becomes sin. Yat karoshi, yat dasnasi, yat duhoshi dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mat tarpanam. Krishna is saying, give it to me. No one else in the entire cosmos is demanding so much as what Krishna is saying. Right? Mam ekam. Lord Shiva is not telling, Lord Ganesh is not telling, Lord Parvati is telling, anyone is telling. Krishna is demanding, you give it to me. I need it right now. If you give it to me now, then I accept. He demands with his own mother. What are we? Mother is not a Nitya Baddha. She is a Nitya Siddha. He demands with his mother, and what are we? We are completely a conditioned soul. So how do we find out that kind of a concept? Yukta Vairagya has to be utilized. Please use in Krishna service. Everything else. Now at this point of time, yes, of course, I do agree what you're saying, that Yukta Vairagya is present in us. But at this point of time, we are trying to do what we like the most. Today I want to eat, oh, it's very sunny, let me have an ice cream. Fundamentally, Krishna doesn't want ice cream, but you want ice cream, so you're saying, okay, I will offer ice cream to Krishna. And tomorrow I'll say, hey, I will make a wonderful lassi. Why? Because it's sunny. Day after tomorrow, it's very cold. Oh, and let me make some hot tea for my heart. So what does it mean? That you are liking whatever you like and you're trying to push it to Krishna's mouth and saying that, Krishna, you eat what I am trying to eat. That's unfair. But then how will we learn what is good for Krishna, what is bad for Krishna, or what is Krishna's need and want? This is a cyclic representation. Anything and everything, whatever you discuss in whichever way, you completely come to the end of surrendering unto your spiritual master. If you connect your spiritual master, automatically you will come to know the truth of how you can actually achieve them. That's the key of success. Then your Yukta Vairagya becomes perfectness of life. Make sense?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. So one more question. So I wanted to know, like, because Krishna is there in everyone's heart, and then also like devotees are trying to basically convert them into a nice Krishna conscious devotee. But why Krishna, basically those person who are averse to Krishna consciousness, why Krishna is not guiding them from within that this is the right path for you?
Why do you say he's not guiding them to the right path?
Uh,
If Krishna is not guiding, he would not have had a devotee coming to him. Correct?
yes.
If you are not guided by Krishna, then why will Krishna not send a devotee to go and talk to him? But Krishna also doesn't want a forced love. He doesn't like the concept of forced love. Krishna likes what kind of love?
Unconditional.
Unalloyed and unconditional. Unalloyed. Right? Yata tata va vidadato lampato mat prananatastu sa evanaparaha. So that is unalloyed and unconditional. So if I force you and say, you come on, you start loving me, every day you should say, I love you 500 times. You will say for 5 days, 6 days, you say, get lost. Right? But whereas the fact is, if you naturally like me and accept my qualities as a very important factors, then automatically what will you do? This person is really likable and lovable. I really appreciate to do some service. That is Krishna. So Krishna has given us a free will. Krishna is in everyone's heart. Krishna is giving them the intelligence and giving you the intelligence to talk to them. That's the smallest step of positivity Krishna can push. What does Katha Upanishad explain? There are two birds sitting in the same tree. One is eating the fruits, another one is watching that other bird eating the fruits and waiting for that bird to turn to his side. In the same way, a devotee is the one who enables the sukruti for that person. The non-devotee doesn't have that much of sukruti enough to accept the supremacy of Krishna. That is why he is conditioned soul stuck in this world. So who can enable them to go back to Godhead? A devotee. How? By Krishna giving the intelligence to the devotee and go and approach that person. That person has lost his track. I want him back into my house. You have anyway booked your house. You have got a room here, you have got a bedroom here, you have got an attached bathroom, you have got everything what you wanted, a duplex bungalow, everything there for you is booked in Golaka Vrindavan. But what about this fellow? This doesn't have. I remember telling you this. One devotee wrote me a letter. He's a very senior devotee. He's almost like a very, very senior devotee of almost like a disciple of Prabhupada. So he wrote me a letter saying that I am 100% sure whatever you say, you will and your wife will go back to God at this lifetime. But in that process, if you are just going alone, Krishna will be just happy. Why? Because you have just followed your spiritual master and you are going back to Godhead. But Krishna will be more happy if you are able to gather few more people with you and pull them also along. That's the logic behind all these activities which you perform. All of us are doing some activity or the other. For what purpose or for whose pleasure? If you are now today sitting and hearing to what I am talking, you know how much happy Krishna is that you have invested your wonderful time in his service. This is what Krishna wants it from every living entity in this world. Start listening, start hearing. That's the key success of your life. The first step towards that is the success is Shravanam and Kirtanam. If we constantly hear this one and one, hearing Krishna, acting Krishna, working for Krishna, giving pleasure to Krishna, seeing what I can do and improve upon Krishna, then your life will be successful. You will have a lot of sukruti. That sukruti you are sharing with that non-devotee. But in that process, you should not take his association. You should only give your association. Then automatically they will slowly turn. Because time immemorially we are stuck here. And we are connected with the material vasanas. It is so strong, these flavors are. It can't just change in a day, or we can't be saints overnight. I'm sure you all agree to it. No one has seen a saint overnight in this world. But if we practice and show that kind of example, to our own family members, to our own friends, to our own relatives, to our own people, to our people whom you are interacting with. They will take that happiness quotient in you, and one day or the other, that will change. You do your job, give the rest to Krishna. Use not your intelligence, use Krishna's intelligence. Never use your intelligence. If you use your intelligence, Krishna is not going to be bothered about anything what you're going to do. He'll say, okay, you have the intelligence I've given you anyway, so please use it. I'm not going to bother about it. But if you go and talk to Krishna and say, oh Lord, I'm able to do something for your pleasure, but at this point of time, I'm not able to change this person, right? We take care of our own relatives. If our child gets hurt, right? I'm giving you a raw example. I don't want that, touch wood. I don't want that to happen to any one of us here in this forum or to a devotee's family. If a devotee gets hurt, right? A devotee child gets hurt, what do? Immediately pounce on it and see, oh, how do I care for this devotee? This child is hurted and all that. If there is you're going in a car and you see that there is some non-devotee or non-person or someone, whoever it is, you don't even know who it is, some Tom, Dick and Harry. In the road, he is going around, he is fallen and that child is crying. Will you stop your car in the side and go and pick him up and then give some antiseptic cream or whatever, or medicine or injection? No, you don't do that. Why? You're not related to him. And but what are you investing your time on? So this is how the process of Krishna consciousness works. When you are able to connect with Krishna in the same format as what the acharyas have requested you, you become a small infinitesimal instrument in bringing that revolution in the heart of that person. Otherwise, you are just trying to do it as a camouflage devotee. You are like a chameleon. You are showing something and you are actually something else. That's not going to help you in any manner. It will not go any further. You'll probably go 1 or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. After that, you'll fall off. You cannot be a show bottled devotee. Devotion should come from the heart. It's not from anyone else. It can't be between two eyebrows. That's not devotion. That is nonsense. You got it? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay then. Good. Okay, should we stop here or you want any other questions?
Yeah, we'll check with all the devotees.
Yes, please.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Ravi Prabhuji was raising one hand. He wants to ask.
I can't see. I apologize. I can't see anything. Someone else has to guide me.
In the chat. So,
What's the question?
no, as of now, I think no question has been raised by him. Any question from any devotee? Sarvanan Prabhu, you want to raise any question? So one question, Prabhu, basically from all the devotee side. So generally, most of the devotee here in Bangalore are working in IT sector, which you
Very
can
good.
understand. Which you can understand is more of like a ugra karma. That is, you keep on working, and at the end of the day, you are completely exhausted. You don't have basically enough frame of your mind of reference to read scriptures or to chant properly. So under these situation, whether basically we have to go for something else, maybe something of our own, some easy business, or how like we have to handle these things. Because one thing is like you told last time that whatever we are doing, we have to do it with full determination and give the results to Krishna. But
Yeah.
then too, in this kind of circumstances, what it happens is that it will drain a lot of spiritual energy from you, because you keep on working in such kind of environment, which is where we have endless kind of work, and with a lot of office pressure. So what steps generally we have to take in these scenarios?
This is a very personal level of question. The reason why I would say it's personal level of question is that Ugra Karma is there in any activities, whether you are doing IT work or you're using a manufacturing or production. You have to work. There is no other choice. A soul is entitled to be active all the time, according to Bhagavad Gita, right? So now you have many questions inside one single question. So how should I handle a devotee's life? Whether I need to do any other kind of a business or leave the job. And I also told that you should take the responsibility and ownership to do what is been entitled. Believe my words, there are very two important subject matter which you have to touch upon. The first one is, before you and me, if there is something happening, Krishna knows. So keep that element of faith in that Supreme Lord, that Krishna wants us to continue with this particular job and there is no compromise to it, right? Second one is, I said, you need to dedicate whatever you are doing as a part of the job. It is, of course, draining. It is really, really draining. But that's where your option of connecting with the devotees and following this ABCD every week on week, so that your battery is all the time fully charged, so that you can overcome these difficulties to be working with the people who are all the time telling you that you don't believe in anything else except for your own capability to deliver something. But if you don't do that, then what is the point in your life, right? Our anyway going to be existence only for 7 days, 70 years maximum. So in that process, there are a lot of difficulties which you will be anyway put into. You are because of our past bad deeds. But Krishna is enabling us much, much better, so that we are only seeing the glimpse of this material world, which is full of misery and full of inebrities. This is extremely, that's what I said in the start, that it is a worst case scenario. The element of frustration should come in each one of us. Only then our craving for spiritual life can begin. You should get frustrated. You should get sick of this world. I said, there's nothing. I go into the office and all the time my manager keeps shouting at me all the time. Even after delivering it appropriately, 5 out of 5, all he can comes and says is, you know what, you have done a fantastic job, but unfortunately, to be honest with you, there is a lot of scope for improvement. You should really progress and you should improve upon your life. I mean, this is fantastic delivery. The client is very happy, but still there is a scope for improvement. And unfortunately, our company is not doing that great. You know the pandemic situation, you know the corona situation. I am sure that we will not be able to give you any hike or bonus. And you should be happy that at least you have a job to hold on. There are a lot of thousands and thousands of people who have lost jobs and they're struggling so hard that they are not able to get one. But Krishna is so kind and merciful on all these wonderful devotees that he's making sure your jobs are not in stake. You're not in peril. So just be calm and carrying on. That is key for success. Tolerance, patience, perseverance. This is extremely important. Unfortunately, sometimes we see devotees don't have that so easily. They want ready-made solutions, like 5 minutes cup noodles, pour hot water and then just rip it and whip it and then you get noodles, you eat and getting going. No, Krishna consciousness is not a one-day traffic. It's not a one-stand love. It is an eternity of love. There is a book called Eternal Love. Have you read this? Read that, how it is connected to the Supreme Lord in eternity. There is a beautiful information in different subject matters. What we need to know is learn the art of being tolerant, patient, and perseverance. Because we are associating with the non-devotees for more hours than we are supposed to associate with the devotees, we are under stress of our spiritual energy getting drained. But it is good that you are able to chant, you are able to read Prabhupada books. If you are all the time constantly connected with that, you will not find any difficulty in this world. Of course, it is not easy to be in an IT company or IT manager or IT tech consultant or whoever it is, and then still practice Krishna consciousness. But that's also going to be a challenging for someone who is an element of CEO or a CFO or someone in any other manufacturing or any other production country or companies. But we need to learn. But if you are being, let's say you are going to start a business, you're going to invest more time in business. So what you reap? You're going to invest on something. You put seeds of an apple tree and you're expecting an orange tree to come out. Do you think that's practical? That's impractical. You are not being thinking of it. And so you are not going to fetch anything great. How much of effort, how much of time you are going to invest on that business to get it established? There is no one cap which can fit all heads. There is nothing called one cap fitting all heads in this world. You need to learn the art of customizing with each and every single head. Every day is every day. Don't live for future. Live for this power of now. Learn the art of being now, right now. Krishna has enabled you to read Bhagavad Gita, so he has put you in this class. Just read. As soon as it's finished, just go to the next one. Then you will not find any pressure, any tension anywhere. Even if a materialistic manager comes and tells you and blasts you or anything, simply accept and absorb everything and push it to Krishna. That's not my headache. It's Krishna's headache. All you need to think and meditate on this is, I am a spirit soul. I don't have anything to do with this fellow. But Krishna has put me in this kind of situation in the office. Let me just tolerate myself and sit quiet and start working on it. Krishna will have a revolution in his heart and automatically he will come and say sorry, and then there will be a change. Otherwise, you're fighting against the material nature, Prabhu. You cannot overcome them. It's impossible. Mama Maya Durataya, she is not going to let us just because we are called devotees and we don't have 2 extra horns in our head. She is not going to leave us. She's going to screw our happiness also. And she will screw. Why? Because that's unfortunate. Sorry for my words, but that's not what I meant. So she is actually trying to purify us. She is helping us. Take shelter of her. Prabhupada says in the last moments of his breathing, he was talking to on the microphone. Jayadatta Swami Maharaj was actually recording that. You would see the beautiful video in the Prabhupada's series. He says, my gravest concern is my disciples are not serious and they are not fear of Maya. They are not ready to accept her supremacy. We are in her world, not that she is in our world. We are in her world. If we had been with Krishna, we would not ask this question. We would not be bothered about any of these pains and perils. We could have been with Krishna, wonderful adventures, wonderful parties, wonderful picnics, wonderful day of festivals, wonderful days of enjoyment, and wonderful days of dancing. Every step is a dance, every walk is every talk is a festival, or whatever songs and whatever, whatnot. That's spiritual realm for us. We all want that because that's eternal happiness. But we are in a so-called flickering happiness. We are thinking what to do. That's why we are here. Na ghar mein, na ghat mein. Either here or there. We are stuck here. How do we overcome that? At least we have got a solution now. We have been given this opportunity to connect with Krishna. Okay?
Yes, thanks, Prabhu. I think you have resolved.
That may be a lot of theoretical answers to it, but there is a lot of practical reasoning also behind it. So accept the practicality of how you can handle it. But of course, it is a very personal question. Each and everyone had to be customized to answer that. Only your immediate leaders or any of your Bhakti Viksha Sangha members, leaders can help you out. But nevertheless, you are most welcome to send me an email or WhatsApp me. Will definitely help anyone who wants some help in that sense.
Yes. Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we stop here?
Yes, I think we don't have any further questions. So
Excellent, Prabhu.
we'll stop here. We'll have so Sarvanan Prabhu, now Sukhi Jagannath Prabhu will lead the kirtan, right?
Excellent.
Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Thanks for your association, Prabhu.
Thanks for your association,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So don't leave it, because now we'll be having the ecstatic kirtan led by Sukhi Jagannath Prabhu.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya
Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Vishatarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Some devotees can unmute and sing after me. Once I sing. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Wow.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram Hare Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath,
Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath.
Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra.
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Subhadra Devi, Jaya Jagan Sudarshana.
Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Let us sing Narsimharati, then we will chant all the pranam mantras. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste
Narasimhaya.
Prahlada Dayine.
I think we have lost
Yeah.
Prabhuji. So I think you can continue, Sharnan Prabhu. You can continue the nursing arti.
Okay. Prahlada Dayine. हिरण्यकाशी पूर्वक्षः तिलकाङ्कानकालये तो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha.
यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा
Yato Yami Tato Narsimha.
तो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमरिं शरणं प्रपद्ये मदवरे नाका अद्भुत दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद
जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद
प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
विघ्नविनाशक नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
जय
प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
Saravana Prabhu, you can chant Premadhvani. Saravana Prabhu, you can chant Premadhvani.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtotra Sada Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
ISKCON Founder
Jai.
Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtotra Sada Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Ananta Kodi Vaishnavrinda ki Jai.
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 नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
जय।
प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण
जय।
गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय।
Jai.
वृंदावन धाम की जय।
Jai.
मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर
जय।
धाम की जय।
जय।
जगन्नाथपुरी
जय।
धाम की जय।
Jai.
गंगा मई की
जय।
जय। यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय।
Jai.
बृहत मृदंग की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Hari Hari
All
Bol.
glories to the assembled
Hari Hari
devotees.
Bol.
Hare Krishna.
All glories
Hare
to the
Krishna.
assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All
Hare
glories and
Krishna.
glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai. Jai. Thanks very much for giving me the opportunity, Prabhu. Hare Krishna to all the
Thank
devotees.
you all for the association.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thanks.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.